Okay, thanks for watching this webinar, Maximize Others, the Power of Passion. This is in response to some folks that asked me to record the little lesson that I gave to a men's Bible study group a few weeks ago on Wednesday night. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to share a little bit about kind of my journey. And one of the things that I've really discovered and learned about in terms of the power of passion, why I think there's a lot of confusion around what passion is, and sort of a key thing that kind of unlocked it for me to understand my passion. So real quick, my name is John Schober, and I live in Austin, Texas. My journey kind of started in Big Bend, Big Bend National Park, along the Texas and Mexico border. I was there on a men's retreat, got to spend some time with some great guys and just away from technology and conference calls and work and all that kind of stuff. And at the time, I was just in a really good place in life. I'd been married 15 plus years. My marriage was good. Kids were doing well, climbing up the corporate ladder. Everything was going good. And I remember as I was going through the trail that weekend, I talked to one of the guys and I said, I really feel like my engine is tuned, car is waxed, and everything in my life and in the family's life is really, really good to go. But as I talked that weekend, I said, there's one problem. And unfortunately, it's kind of a big problem. And that problem is that I have absolutely no idea where I was going. And so that kind of began sort of this genesis, or this journey, direction and passion and vision. And about 2 years after this particular event in Big Bend, my journey was kind of accelerated. I was at work, and I got an email from my manager and from the HR department. And if you've ever worked at a corporate Fortune 100 company, you recognize that when your boss is sending you an email and the HR person is sending you an email and your director is sending an email, you kind of recognize that this is not really a good thing, and layoffs are probably in your future. And so sure enough, I was at work, and they basically said, look, you've got 2 weeks to find another position within the company, or else we're going to let you go. At the time, I said, this is really going to be, my time to kind of step out, try out a few things. So I accepted the severance package, which, by the way, I've actually been fired and laid off. I can tell you that that being laid off is a whole lot better, especially if there's a severance package attached to it. That's a much better deal. But I've been both. I also say I've lost my job before and after Dave Ramsey. After Dave Ramsey is definitely much better than before Dave Ramsey. So here we are. We had a severance package, had a little bit of money in savings, and so had some time on our hands. And Jennifer and I really took this time to kind of pursue our direction. We spent a lot of time in prayer, reading a lot of books. And one of the things that we came across that's really been impactful to both of us is a teaching by Lance Wallnau. You can go to lancelearning.com. In fact, I'd actually encourage you, there's some links here on the page that will take you right to Lance's website and show you how he kind of walks somebody through the passion process. It's an extremely powerful process to watch. I've been in a environment, in a work group, where I've actually gone through this process. It's in fact, really, it's so powerful and kind of life-changing for us that really this is one of the things that I want to do, is to help people kind of find their passion. So let me just kind of start with why passion is so powerful, and then I'll give a couple things on the process and point you to some videos to watch. So if you kind of think of your potential, and you kind of put a scale on the board, and X and Y axis from 0 to 10, and this sort of represents the total potential that you have in your life. So on one axis, and I don't remember, is this the X or the Y axis? I'm sure that one of our engineer friends here could leave a comment and tell me, is talents on the X or the Y axis? Because I have no idea which one it is. But anyway, on one end, you're going to write talents. On the other one, you're going to write passions. And now you're going to kind of plot sort of where you think you are in relation to your talents and your passions. What I found is talents are fairly easy to define and articulate and understand. If you're holding down a job and you're reasonably responsible, you're probably operating in your talents. Your feedback and your performance reviews, those types of things are very much going to be tied and keyed to what your talents are. Whether that's a doctor or a lawyer or a computer technician or whatever, you probably have an idea of what your talents are. But if you don't really understand what your passions are, and let's say you're operating at a much lower level of what your total passion is, then the net result is this is all of your life's potential that you're living. And what that means is you've got a whole bunch of unfilled potential. And that's really what kind of sort of challenged me to really dig into this a little bit, because one of the things that's a key for me is it's a scripture, and it basically says, great gifts mean great responsibilities, greater gifts mean greater responsibilities. I don't want to live my life and breathe my last breath, meet the Lord. Certainly my life has been an extremely blessed life. I've not wanted for anything, and I don't want to go and meet the Lord and basically have a bunch of unfilled potential that I've left at the table. I don't want to get into a big theological conversation about, does this mean you're saved or not saved? All it means is I want, when I meet the Lord face to face, I want him to say, well done, good and faithful servant. That's it. And I don't want him to say, John, I put a lot on the table and you didn't use it. That would be bad. So when you understand that, and when you recognize that your passion really is the key, it's the calling. One of the examples that Lance uses, he says, look, my talents are teaching and working with people. And if he was doing that in a school situation, in an elementary or a high school situation, the elementary and high school kids is not really his passion. His passion is in the corporate world and training people that are adults. And so when he is using his talents of teaching with his passions of adults in the corporate world, then he is filling his potential. That resonates a lot to me. I think that there's a lot of similar talents and passions that I have. But whatever your passions are, here's really what I want to kind of leave you with. When you really understand your passions, it's almost like the light bulb goes off and you can sort of see the journey of where you're going. This is a picture from Big Bend, and this was taken, I think that the hike was like a 5-mile hike up the mountain. So you get up to this mountain, and it's a long climb, and unfortunately I wasn't in a whole lot of good shape. So it spent a couple hours hiking this trail up. But I got there, and you're able to see, into Texas and Mexico, and it's this beautiful view. And really, when you start to discover your passions, that's what you're getting. You're starting to get that kind of a vision for your life. You're not going to identify every bend and turn, and there's absolutely going to be detours and obstacles that are put in your way, but you can start to see the direction that your life is moving. It's kind of like having the compass for your life. When you have a compass, you're able to orient yourself, and this is the direction that you're going to go. And then you can use your skills and your talents and the strengths of other people as you go through the obstacles of life. You can navigate around the obstacles, go over them, go around them, whatever you need to do, build the bridges. But your passion really drives that vision for your life, that God-given purpose on your life. So, for me, I'm going to put this picture up because I thought this was a lot of fun. For my 40th birthday, my wife bought me a ticket to go jump out of an airplane. I'm not really sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but I lived, and a ton of fun. Took off from San Marcos, Texas. It was a hot summer day. It was above 100 that day. You get up to altitude and, the weather is, 50 degrees. When they open up that door, the air is cooled and the wind's coming in, and it's very invigorating. And when you kind of have that drive and that passion, really that makes you just feel like jumping out of the airplane. So what I hope that you get from this is really some encouragement to seek out some of your passions. Take a look at the website, at the Maximize Others stuff. There's some links and some resources. There's books and tests and workshops that I do. Most of you kind of know my story in terms of my relation to Texas history. My great, that's 5 greats, grandfather is Davy Crockett. So I always like tying things to Davy Crockett and the Alamo and the battle cry, "Remember the Alamo." So here's kind of what I've come up for the way that I'm articulating and explaining my passions. And it says, always learning, always maximizing others. So for me, I'm always learning how to be a better person and leader so that I can maximize others to help them discover the passion and bring God's gift for their life into reality. So that's it. And thanks for watching this video. Would love to meet with you and be a part of anything that you're doing. And hope that you are encouraged and motivated to discover your passions and pursue them.